What's up, guys? It's Chloe Dollars and welcome to my channel. I'm going to say this before I start this video. I'm looking at myself in the camera, so I don't know if this is the right way to look or if this is the right way to look. I'm going to switch from both. I don't know. I don't care. All right? All right. So today I'm going to be telling you a story about the time that my sister Tamara and I were listed as flight risk. Okay? It all started like this. We have a grandmother who we're really not close with like that, but she invited us to Las Vegas for her 70th birthday. And the whole time I was trying to convince my sister, like, hey, we don't need to go. We don't even, like, we're not cool with this lady like that anyway, so we don't need to go. Let's not go. But because she already paid for the tickets and, you know, I'm a kind-hearted person. I'm not really cold-hearted. So we went anyway. It was a 2-flight thing. It was from DC to, no, it was from Baltimore to Minnesota and then from Minnesota to Nevada. And I wasn't really excited. I'm admit to everyone now, I was not excited about the trip because I didn't want to go in the first place. Get me? So the first flight, the one from Baltimore to Minnesota, it was perfect. Like, it made me actually turn my attitude around. Not attitude, or it just made me change my perception of the trip. Because I met a teacher. She teached in Anne Arundel County, a county I grew up in. And we just sat and talked the whole time about life. And she bought us drinks and it was cool. Like, great experience. The flight attendants were cool. They were nice. They actually made sure we were good. You know, they did their little checkups frequently. Perfect flight with Spirit. That was the first ever flight I flew with Spirit that was good, okay? So it wasn't until Minnesota. Get to Minnesota and we're a little tipsy, but we're still having a good time. We're now more excited about going to Nevada because it's like, why not? We're going to have to go to Las Vegas. And at the time, I was 19. That made my sister 24. Yeah, she's 5 years apart. We're 5 years apart. So I was 19 and my sister was 24. And we were excited. Like, why not? We're about to go to Vegas. Out of all places, Vegas. Cool. So, sorry, my bad. My phone cut off a little bit. But So 19 and 24 years old, going to Las Vegas. What we need to be more excited than we are. Okay. It wasn't until the second flight that things shifted for what we already knew what was going to happen type thing, you know? So we get on the second flight in Minnesota to Nevada. And something was off. The vibe was different than the first plane. It seemed as if the flight attendants already had bad attitudes. Seemed as if they like did their job. Like, I don't know what terminology it is, but I feel like they were just tired from doing a lot of flights, right? But we still spoke. We still try to, you know, boost them up a little bit. And some of them were, you know, accepting of it and others weren't. Okay. All right. So let me just tell you how things looked for me on the joint, okay? As a black person, you always know when you're the only black person. And that might not make sense to some, but for black people, they know what I'm talking about. You know when you're the only folks. You know how things might turn out. You know that you're having eyes on you at a constant, like, you know this. And that's how it felt on the plane, because between me and my sister and one other person, let me make sure. Yeah, we were the only black people on the plane. Black people on the plane. And didn't think anything of it at first because it's 2020. No, it was 2018 at the time. You know, yeah. So, sorry, I got sinuses. I'm going blank. Oh, so the whole flight was all right. The flight, like, in midair was cool. Wasn't bothered. It was a lot of jokey and flirty going on with this one specific flight attendant and this group of bachelors for, I guess, a bachelor party. One of them were getting married, but to me, you won't be able to tell who because of how all of them was flirting with the lady. So that was happening during the flight, and I thought that you could see people like get annoyed with that, but I guess everybody was all right with it. You know, the little flirtatious, all that other stuff. Okay, cool. So we get 5 minutes to landing, I believe. And my sister and I had our headphones in. We're not thinking anything of the headphones. Every time the flight attendant says anything, it's always the same redundant things. And it's their job to do that so we could, understand and be, safety precautions. But at the time, I feel like I flew enough that I don't need to hear it. I was just listening to my music. But at the same time, there's no excuse. There's no reason for getting treated how we were treated. So, like I said, we had our headphones on. The girl Alex, which is the flight attendant that has been entertaining that whole little party the whole flight, got on the microphone or the phone, intercom, whatever you want to call it, said something, boo, 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 and that whole party, laughed. Now, I feel like that whole party took up at least half of the plane. So you know how the plane is two different, one side is like the 3 seats going back and one side is the 3 seats going back. Well, one whole side of that, half of that was the whole bachelor party. That's how deep they were. So they all started laughing. And I was confused because I'm like, well, what's so funny? And I'm looking at her, looking at us. But because my sister and I were in the back by 3 or 4 rows before the flight attendant seats, I didn't think she was looking at us. But she was. She was looking dead in my mid. Dead in my mid. So she puts the phone joint down and she walks straight to the back, straight to us. Take the headphones off. Yes? What's up? You guys need to put your band in. What? The fuck? She was trying to tell us that while all that rolling, the attitude, all of that, basically was saying to us that we needed to stow our bags away and prepare for landing. Okay. But as I took a glance around the people around me, everyone had their bags in the same positions as me and my sister. So I felt a ping in my chest because I already knew what this was. I already knew what it was. So I said, so how come you haven't asked, them? Don't worry about it. Did I not pay for this flight? I didn't, but they don't know that. So I'm a hothead. I got an attitude. But that doesn't mean I was threatening her. That doesn't mean I was trying to fight her. I just gave her shit back. If you can dish it, you better be able to take it. That's my theory. You know what I'm saying? So she didn't like that I wasn't just gonna let her talk to me a certain way. So my sister said, we'll handle her. We're gonna file a complaint. And that's what we tried to do. But when we try to ask her for her name or ask her this and this and ask her questions, she was trying to be funny and entertain that party. And eventually everybody on the plane got a little giggles in them too. And it felt humiliating. And I was livid. So we eventually land. But we couldn't get right off because, I don't know the correct terminology for this, but the catwalk, the little catwalk thing that they connect to the plane to the building so the people could walk out. That wasn't connected yet, so they told us to have a seat and wait 10-15 minutes. Cool. I was already like this. Right? I'm already like that because to be humiliated and then to still be in the place of where you got humiliated was embarrassing. Okay, so when we landed, everyone was standing up. You know, everyone gets impatient. Everyone stood up to like start boarding off the plane, even though we couldn't. But people started standing up anyway. So I got up, and I had went, like I said, we were 3 to 4 seat rows back. I had walked at least 2. Need I mind you, this finger, non-existent, was where the flight attendants are. So I had at least walked right here and left this amount of space between me and the other lady. And I was like, so what's your name again? Can you spell it one more time? Because we are filing a complaint against you. Do. She spelled it again. And I was talking to my sister. And I think I was telling her, like, Tamara, I don't know why she thought that she could just point us out like that. You know, like shit like that. I was just like, I don't know who she thought she was. But I was talking to my sister. At this point, I'm not arguing with the lady no more. Not even arguing. We didn't even argue. It was more of talking smart back and forth. If anything, I started yelling in frustration to my sister because I was upset. I was humiliated. I'm like, what the, you know? So the other black person on the plane, the one black person you think that's supposed to have the black woman's back, didn't. Black dude gonna say, ugh, why do every time black girls have to be so ratchet and ghetto? What did I do to these people? And since when was being upset because you were racially profiled or discriminated against a reason to call someone ratchet and ghetto? So this is gonna be a side note before I continue on with the story. This is just me saying this. Black women can express their feelings, opinions, or anything else without being ghetto, loud, or ratchet. We are allowed to express our emotions without being categorized as something other than a person who is hurt. Okay. So anyway, yeah, he decided to speak up. And again, people laughing. And I turned to him and said, you coon mother. You rather laugh with the white man than just stand your ground as a black man. And he got offended by that. He was hurt. With his little flight pillow around his neck. His little buttoned up blazer. I don't care if you're a black person who makes money. I actually encourage that. But if you're a black person who makes money and just have this fake delusional theory that because you're with the white man that, you know, you're not considered black anymore. I don't know how to, you know what I'm saying? I hate those type of people. And that's the type of person that was with us on the plane. No support there. So I just started crying. I cry when I'm sad and when I'm mad. And I was livid. So I started crying. I turned around and I stormed off. I didn't care. I was getting out of that situation and I was just gonna walk away, which I did. But unfortunately, that didn't help nothing. So I'm gonna skip the whole story about what happened in Vegas. That trip was just never again. Never again, okay? Never again. But it got back to us needing to go back home now, okay? So now, remember, all of that happened in 2 flights. The first Spirit flight was cool. The second one wasn't, okay? Now, get for the third one, which is supposed to be a direct flight. And my grandmother had got one of her Lyft buddies to drop us off. Okay. My grandmother got one of her Lyft buddies to take us to the airport. Get to the airport, go to the Spirit kiosk, type our confirmation number and everything in, and it just not working. It says that the reservation doesn't exist, and we were confused. So we go to the customer service booth thingy, and basically she said, oh, your flight was canceled. You know, like, what? I know our grandmother wasn't, and in my mind, I'm like, I know our grandmother wasn't that petty that she canceled our flight. No, come to find out that Alex, dumbass bitch, called security as me and my sister are leaving the plane, tells the security that we threatened to beat her up, that dude up, anybody else, and we were just going around threatening everybody on the plane. So they had listed us as a flight risk. And we're like, damn, what? Flight risk? That's for criminals, terrorists, and any other bad thing. So a flight risk? Was it really, like, what? I'm getting mad just thinking about it. And this was 2 years ago. Like, whew. But, no. So, got listed as a flight risk. And we were like, all right, fine. Flight risk with Spirit. We don't even need Spirit. Let's just go to, like, Southwest. No. Flight risk in the entire fucking airport. The whole airport. We could not fly at all. Nowhere, with no one, nothing. No, we were stranded. And it took 6 hours to come up with money for the Amtrak train to get back home. That was, I believe, $700 a piece. So $1,400. No, $1,200. I mean, it's $1,200 to get us from one side of the map to the other side of the map. You would think that our grandmother would have came back and picked us up. Said, hey, you know, instead of waiting at the airport outside in the heat, you can just come over to the house again and just sit in the air conditioning. No. She didn't even answer her phone. And then, if she did, or when she did the one time, oh, okay. So yeah, me and my sister, we were stranded out there in Vegas, didn't know what the fuck to do, but you know, the family who really got our backs really got us out that situation. But I say all of that to say, I hate Spirit. And we got a claim. Like, we went through the process, the whole 3.5 days of traveling on the train. We went through the process, and they basically was like, all right, we apologize. Her story does sound way different than what yours do, and then some witnesses on the plane is also corroborating with your story. So you would think we would get all our money back. No, we got, I think, one ticket worth back, I believe. And just an apology, fake little type up apology. But other than that, I'm never personally using Spirit anymore. Actually, I lied, because I did just use Spirit. But what I mean by that is I will never I'm trying to put in, I will not say, I just would never say anything to none of their flight attendants ever again. Ever again. I don't care how nice you are, because you're not about to humiliate me. You're not about to list me as a flight risk anymore. And you're damn sure not about to keep taking me out of my character. So, yeah, that was the story of how me and Tamara, my sister, my middle sister, got listed as flight risk and had to take the train cross country. Now, I will be coming up with a story time about that. It's not really much. It's just really cool. Like, regardless of the trip being bad, and regardless that we only got on the Amtrak because of something, I'm glad that we did. And Amtrak, probably not listening either. But you guys, your customer service was way better than the airplanes. All right. So yeah, that's it for today. Again, it's Clodalis. And this is my channel. I hope you enjoy story time. I'm sorry that I moved a lot. Hope you can hear me, and I hope it's not too long. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.